evening. Tonight we're gonna make sauerkraut potato soup. So I'm starting off with some potatoes, putting it in boiled water, and sauerkraut goes on the end, but just cooking it up. Okay, add more potatoes. And so that's potatoes, water, and I'm gonna keep the potatoes in there cooking. I'm gonna add chicken broth stock. You can add vegetable stock if you want. If you want a completely vegetarian, but voila. Next, add some onions. And I'm gonna cube it just like the other stuff. Because it's soup, it doesn't have to be fancy. And you just shove it in there. Okay, now the potatoes and onions will go in there and cook the broth till it's ready. And add some cilantro for flavor in there. If you have celery, you could add that too if you wanted. And while that's cooking, I have cabbage and carrots that I will be adding to it. And my roommate had some beets. I hate beets, but I'm gonna put it in there for him since we gotta use up the beets. Ta-da! So just wait for the potatoes to be done. That's really the hard thing. And then the other vegetables will come after because you don't want them too mushy. Alright, as you can see, beets, carrots, cabbage, more cilantro, and onions. Potatoes are cooking in here. Add a little salt. Pretty much that's about it for now. I'll add some peas at the end and the sauerkraut at the end. It's been boiling a little bit. Potatoes still not done yet. You can see they're still hard. Still hard. But they're getting there. Soft. So when I put the beets in there, because since I hate beets, I want it to cook all the way through. That's gonna make the juice. It's kind of like a borscht. It's really what I'm making. We'll let that cook. Alright, now I know the potato's done because I took one out and tried to put it with the spoon and it cut really nicely, so that means I'm ready for the rest of the vegetables. Just adding the carrots and the cabbage. Again, peas will still be at the end. And since my roommate's vegetarian, well, he's okay with the chicken broth, just not pieces of meat. So, quasi-vegetarian. But what I do is I'm gonna cook some sausages. So I'm gonna transfer some of it. Once this cooks a little bit and it's ready, transfer some of it to a smaller container and cook it with the sausage in this. Right. There's that. All right. Everything's all in there. I'll let it cook. Cook. Again, the sauerkraut goes at the end with the peas because you don't need, it's already kind of fermented and cooked and you're just adding extraness. And also cilantro is at the end too, so because you don't want to overcook cilantro. I usually throw the stem at the beginning because then I can cook it, green onions, but other than that, the real cilantro goes at the end. Alright, what you're trying to look for is a borscht consistency, meaning everything should be kind of melded all together in one soup. It's not there yet. But eventually, once it melts away, the soup will also get thicker and thicker as things disintegrate into it. Probably need more potatoes, huh? Because everything else has overwhelmed it. Maybe I'll add more potatoes. Alright, since I'm adding more potatoes, I put some more chicken broth in the small bowl. Potatoes in there and let it cook. Now I'm going to transfer some of this broth from here into here. Let that cook. Cooking. Okay. Now once you put a little more potatoes already, I put it some back, so now I'm going to put the sausage in this vat soup and let it cook for a bit. It's almost ready for me to put the sauerkraut. Okay, got some pepper in there. Try it out a little bit. See if it's salty enough. If it's not, and add a little more salt. Maybe a little more salt. The beets give it a little sweetness. Salt will cut down some of that sweetness. Thick, which is nice, what you want. Put it down to medium heat because I think it's almost ready. Okay, I'm using this special spicy sauerkraut. Just to get an extra flavor. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna add some of this chili Korean thing to give it a little extra spice. Chili flakes. Oops, that's not too much. Yeah. Ta-da! Some of this sauerkraut in there. When you have the sauerkraut, I'd probably recommend just putting it down then on medium or low heat so that it can just simmer in there without overcooking everything. It's pretty much done. Peas in there. Give it some green. Okay, there we go. Be back. Alright, next, we got our sausages. I'm just gonna cut those into little coins. That. Put them back in. La. Alright, it's all done. So now you just put the cilantro on top. And voila. You got yourself some delicious borscht. Or not really borscht, it's a Potatoe. Sauerkraut soup. Dankeschön. And that's what it looks like. It's very nice and hearty. Hearty soup.